Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a late, out of date Dynamite review. Little tired there. Just finished watching the shit. I feel like going to bed, folks, but got myself a new channel there. Gotta put some material on this shit. Little Dynamite review there. In the voice match, Cody Rhodes defeated QT Marshall in a strap match. It was okay, I guess, for a strap match. They're probably the best match of the night, I guess. They used the strap on each other there. QT was bleeding. Cody Rhodes tried to look like a star there, folks. QT Marshall, at least he looks a bit like a wrestler. I don't know there. In reality, he's a bum who shouldn't be on television there, but at least he looks like a wrestler, I guess. It was a strap match. It was okay, I guess. After this, it was Kenny Omega coming out with Don Callis. Callis starts cutting a goofy promo or whatever. And then the Dark Order came out. So once again, in this big story there, this big long-term storyline with Omega and Hangman Page, boy. It's a group of jobbers coming out, the Dark Order there, to talk on behalf of Adam Page or whatever. And Kenny Omega, he's like, oh, you're a smart guy, smarter than you are a wrestler, meaning that he's not a good wrestler or whatever. He says, what's the capital of Taiwan? He kicks him in the groin. He says, Bangkok, baby. And then they start beating up the Dark Order. Just so fucking corny, you know what I mean? So fucking, just so cheesy style. Like Kenny Omega, like he's supposed to be the world champ, but it's almost like a comedy character, what he is, you know what I mean? Just so fucking silly, Capital of Taiwan, kicked to the groin. Then they start beating them up, just so fucking out there. And then Hangman Page comes out dressed in full nerd cowboy outfit or whatever. And it's him beating up the four other guys by himself, which looks so fucking fake or whatever. Kenny and Hangman have a face-to-face, and Kenny runs away awkwardly or fake-looking or whatever. But this is just fucking silly, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's so fucking stupid that it comes off as funny, like... It's not really like world title material. It's like so bad that it makes me laugh kind of deal because of how cheesy it is. Like, it's so fucking silly. Like, and Hangman Page, in what world does this guy look ready to be a world champ? Like, and if you say this to these guys, they freak out. They'll say that you're a bad person or whatever. And apparently it's big long-term storytelling, you know what I mean? And we're supposed to be bowing down to this story. It's long-term storytelling there. It's a subtle story. It's so subtle and elegant, They try to use all kind of fancy words to make it sound more grand than it actually is, you know what I mean? Let's recap this there. They come in together, they're friends, the elite. Hangman separates from the group. He doesn't want to be their friend anymore. And this was never truly explained why he's doing this. He was drinking and making weird faces, Hangman Page. And then him and Kenny become a tag team. So I don't want to be your friend. Let's be a tag team. So right there, it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? Not friend. Let's be tag team. It didn't make sense. Then they lose. Nothing happens. Months later, Hangman loses in a tournament match against Omega. And now, like a year later, they're going to have another match. Like, apparently, this is such great long-term story. It's so subtle, you can't even tell the storyline is taking place because it isn't, for God's sake. Like, Austin and McMahon, this was long-term storytelling, and it progressed every week. You know, this is just guys having matches once every 8 months and fuck all in between, you know? And Hangman Page is hanging out with jobbers, dressed up like a fucking goofy clown cowboy. In what world is he ready to be champion? And the story is so grand and elegant and beautiful, and this is what it is. Goofy, fucking low budget comedy. That's the story for a big fucking world title feud or whatever. Like, the greatest storytelling since the fucking Attitude Era or whatever. Like, this is crazy, big time. Second match, FTR and Wardlow defeated Santana, Ortiz, and Jake Hager in the throwaway trios match. They're calling these trios matches now. They're because they're gonna have trios championships or whatever. It just felt like throwaway-ish, TNA-ish kind of deal, just like a quick throwaway TNA kind of match. You know what I mean? You had Conan, who was there. He was managing, I guess, Santana and Ortiz or whatever. TNA or AEW probably hire him to shut him up because they talk shit about them on their podcast. So now they bring in Conan once in a while, you know what I mean? Give him some money to shut him up kind of deal. So Conan was there swinging his goofy ball thing or whatever. And Tully Blanchard gave him a chop block from behind. 90-year-old man. Tully Blanchard giving him a chop block again. It's like fucking two old guys in a nursing home fighting or whatever. This is silly shit, you know what I mean? It's not big budget, big money wrestling, high quality. This is silly stuff. And then you had MJF and Jericho. This is another thing there that people have to follow MJF stipulations, and Jericho, he's been wrestling for 40 years or whatever. He has to follow all the fucking stipulations of a 20-year-old guy or whatever. Like, and this was okay, I guess, but it just felt forced a little bit there. MJF, it felt forced once in a while when he was talking. He's trying to come off as smug, but it just came off as bad acting a little bit. And Jericho, he didn't sound drunk, but he looked, his eyes like he was high, or looks like he hadn't slept in 2 weeks if you look at his face during this segment. He looked fucking out of it. He's just like all big puffy eyes, and I don't know. Something was off with Jericho. His look, something, his eyes, like he was either on drugs or sleep deprived or something. Third match, Andrade El Idolo defeated Matt Sydal in his debut match. Again, this is another match where Andrade should beat Sydal in 3-4 minutes. It's another one of these deals where they're taking a midget, a fucking finished, worthless midget, an injury prone jobber like Matt Sydal there, and making him look too strong for no reason against who is apparently a star. I don't think Andrade's a star, but he looks a lot tougher and more fucking athletic than Matt Sydal. He's way bigger than him. He should be crushing this guy. Apparently, if it's his debut and you want to present him as a star or whatever, he should be crushing Matt Sydal, not having a competitive match with Sydal doing most of the fucking beating on him. You know what I mean? Just stupid. And then it was Arn Anderson coming in for a random interview. The lights close and it's Malachi Black, baby. Tommy End making his debut there. I made a video about this yesterday. I went into detail about this stuff. A little, I did all the nitpicking yesterday if you want to go watch that vid, but he kicks Arn Anderson, then he kicks Cody Rhodes because Cody was distracted or whatever. So basically, Malachi Black there, apparently it's a demon character he's going to do. Like, don't they have enough demon gimmicks there, you know what I mean, already in wrestling? Like, and this, it's like goofy shit. Like, imagine backstage the way that this shit goes down, you know what I mean? Hey, Tommy, welcome to AEW. We just made you some new t-shirts. Tommy End is all elite. We have lots of creative freedom here, Tommy. My name is Malachi. What? Malachi? I mean, yes, I'm Malachi Black. Oh, well, that's cool, Tommy. I mean, you want to be creative. That's cool. I mean, I want to be a bland, boring demon. I'm another indie wrestling demon here. Like, who the fuck gives a shit, you know? I mean, like, these fans, they wanted him to come out, you know? I'm Tommy End, and I'm a pro wrestler, and this is pro wrestling, not like those other guys. You know, this is what the indie fans wanted. They wanted a victim of WWE who's called Tommy End, you know. But him, he wants, the name. He probably would rather be just Aleister Black, but he has to change the name to Malachi Black because he was wrestling around the world as, Aleister Black, so he's probably confused why these fans are calling him Tommy and why they would call him Tommy, you know what I mean? Because where did he wrestle as Tommy End? Like, it's a small portion of indie fans saw him as Tommy End. The whole fucking bunch of bandwagon fans, yeah, Tommy End. He's probably confused about this, you know what I mean? And he's just going instead with this weird demon gimmick of some sort. It's another thing. Tommy is the body and Malachi is the demon. It's like a weirdo Matt Hardy thing, of some sort there. Like, but that's the big creative freedom. It just makes for some bad shit there. Fourth match, Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander defeated the Bunny and the Blade. And this was like low quality match or whatever. Chris Statlander hit a nice flip. That should have been the 1-2-3 right there, but it goes to some brass knuckle thing, then an awkward finish. Should have just ended with the big flip or whatever, but it just was bad quality because of this weird fucking. They just fucked up the match, I think. And then you had Dan Lambert coming out saying that AEW sucks and stuff like this. They were special guests and stuff. And truer words have never been spoken on this show or whatever. And then Lance Archer came out and beat him up or whatever. Oh, they're beating up the critics there. Dan Lambert said it sucks and Lance beat him up there. Oh, Lordy. The critics are getting put in their place here. And then in the main event, boy, it was the Young Bucks with one of the silliest entrances I've ever seen in wrestling with They came in because it's a street fight. They were wearing jean shorts or whatever. And, Don Callis was making street fight jokes about the shorts there. The streets of Cucamonga. It was very silly, you know what I mean? Penta did a couple of cool moves or whatever, and then there was a whole bunch of interference, a ton of interference, and then the Bucks kicked Kingston in the face when he had a mouthful of thumbtacks. I think I've seen them do this with the kick to the face with the thumbtacks. I'm not sure there, but it kind of felt a little flat, the finish, but it was an okay, big, silly match, I guess. I don't know there. But I'd give this a 4 out of 10, folks. At best there. The first match was okay, the strap match. The main event is kind of okay, but it's so fucking out there, and Kenny Omega, it's like they're on a different planet. Kenny and the Young Bucks, the way they come in dancing in the ring, it's like, usually a street fight, it's supposed to be badass and there's a tough vibe to it and it's hardcore, blah, blah, blah. They just come in, make a big joke out of it with their shorts and Don Callis, the shit he says, you know what I mean? It's like comical. It's like I said, it's so fucking weird that it comes off as comical, So some of it is okay, but for the wrong reasons. I don't know how to explain it. Like, is it supposed to be a parody of wrestling and it's so fucking silly that some of it makes me laugh a little bit? Is that what it's supposed to be? Because, I don't know anymore. This is fucking mental, this show, you know what I mean? Between this and WWE with dolls and TNA with all kind of fucking weird shit on this show, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck happened to wrestling there, folks? But Like, it wasn't a good show, but I didn't hate it as much as I normally do, you know? Some of it was funny, but like I said, because it's so offbeat and stupid, it comes off funny. But is that what the world title and the main event is supposed to be? Like, fucking weird shit. But 4 out of 10, folks. There it is. I don't know. I don't know anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, peace. Fuck.